Leute, Herren am Start. Today, I want to talk about something really cool, and that is Regulation A++. Now you might be thinking, what is Regulation A++? Very simple. It's a format made by my boy Zach. Definitely subscribe to him, by the way. Makes some great Regulation A++ content. Yeah, and in this is like a custom-made format where all legendary Pokemon are banned, which is just so cool. So now, pretty consistently, we have been having tournaments. So in the first tournament, fuck you YouTube ads, I actually became third with a team I built with Phantom, which is really cool. However, I felt like I could have done better. So I sat down and prepared. However, before we get into the team, Regulation A++ tournaments happening Saturday, like very consistently. Like I said, the next one is probably gonna take place on the 23rd. However, Zach still has to talk to his wife about it. So if you wanna join, I will link you guys his channel. You can join his Discord or whatever, and let him know Harald HD sent you. So you guys know, I am injured at the moment. So I had loads of time to prepare, let me tell you. Also, I wanna thank Jan, Phantom, and Randstreifenhacker for helping me figure out like move sets for the team and also playing games against me so I can learn the team. However, let's get right into the team build. So I decided to build my team around Como because Como got access to Clangorous Soul in this generation, which actually gives Como an Omni boost, a +1 to all its stats. However, it will use 1/3 of its health. However, because Clangorous Soul is actually a sound-based move, Throat Spray will activate and give Como another +1 to its special attack. So after that, Clanging Scales will hopefully be able to absolutely shred through my opponents because it is a 110 base power spread type move which hits both targets, which is just really strong. However, Como obviously got a 4-type weakness to Fairy Pokemon, so I decided to go with Terra Fire in order to counteract this, and I gave Como a Flamethrower. This is also going to be really good against opposing Komos because most of them will most likely be running Terra Steel, so I will hopefully be able to get the advantage from Terra Fire out of this. One of the reasons I actually run Soundproof on Como is because that will make your Como immune to Clanging Scales for the opposing Como, which will allow you to have a really advantageous matchup against opposing Como. Maybe opposing Como could even become set up for them. However, obviously you cannot just set up with Como most of the time, so we have Clefairy for support. This Clefairy carries Icy Wind for speed control and most importantly with Friend Guard ability and Follow Me, which will not only boost my Komo's defense and special defense when Clefairy is on the field, but also Clefairy will be able to redirect moves that would hit Como for big damage with Follow Me. Also Clefairy got Protect for positioning plays and to keep Friend Guard on the field longer, and also Heal Pulse, so it can Heal Pulse Como after it got weakened. And obviously Icy Wind is really good speed control in Clefairy. I gave it enough special defense to take on Pokemon like Golden Go and like Armor Rouge, and put the rest into defense with 12 speed to ensure that we can outspeed opposing Clefairies as well. Next up I got a Pokemon which can take direct advantage from Como setting up in Oricorio, because with the Dancer ability it copies all dance moves. So if Como goes for Clangorous Soul, Oricorio will do the same. I decided to go with the Oricorio Sensu form because that is immune to Fake Out. And also I gave Oricorio Tailwind, so that way we can get the speed advantage against most opposing trainers. And Protect. What Protect allows me to do is actually protect while Como loses Clangorous Soul, and then Oricorio will still be able to Clangorous Soul, and afterwards it will be able to Baton Pass the Clangorous Soul boosts to one of my partner Pokemon. I also decided to give it Revelation Dance because that will do damage to the opponent. However, because we are actually the Terra type Rock, to beat Hisuian Arcanine, we can also hit Hisuian Arcanine with the Revelation Dance, because when Oricorio terrestrializes, this actually turns type 2, similar to Terra Blast would do. Next up, I need a Pokemon that can deal with Unaware mons, because what Unaware does is obviously it ignores all of my stat boosts, and with my team being this heavily focused on setup, running into one Unaware mon could definitely end me the tournament. So I decided to use Skills from Hypno, because Skills from Hypno is also another Pokemon that is immune to Fake Out and also flinches from Rock Slide, which can skills drop the ability to the opponent. So that means, for example, if we fight an opposing Dondozo, which is probably the biggest counter to any Glengur Soul Dancer shenanigans, we can just skill swap with Dondozo, get its unaware ability, and have Dondozo be completely useless against our Hypno. To complement this, we got the Mirror Orb, because that will copy the Dondozo stat boost if it stays in. And then we got the Stored Power attack on Hypno, because that will allow Hypno to one-shot opposing Dondozo after skill swapping its boost. However, I'm not really a big fan of the Mirror Up skill swap strategy to beat Dondozo, because you need to have your Pokemon with skill swap and the Mirror Up on the field while Dondozo switches in and fuses with Tatsugiri in order for the Mirror Up to activate. And that's not something that you can afford to do positionally all the time. So I gave Hypno Psych Up, which is going to be really clutch, because that allows us to win the positional game more easily. And also, you can Psych Up the boosts from Como Oricorio, or whatever Pokemon Oricorio Baton passes into, in order to get the Omni boost on your Hypno as well, and power up stored power by even more. Another really fun use case for the Mirror Up on Hypno is actually the ability to copy opposing Como. Because if Hypno copies opposing Como, it can actually one-shot the opposing Como with stored power, depending on the EVs of the opposing Como, which is really funny. However, one thing that should be said is that Mirror Orb does not allow you to also copy the Throat Spray boost, because first Glandular Soul activates, which then gets copied by the Mirror Orb, and then the Throat Spray, which Hypno does not copy. If Hypno was also able to copy the Throat Spray boost stored power, which was absolutely shred through opposing Komos. Last but not least, we got Trick Room, not only so we can set up Trick Room ourselves in order to counteract opposing Tailwind teams, for example, but also to counter opposing Trick Room teams, because otherwise we would really struggle with it, because we have speed boost as part of our strategy, right? So I gave Hypno loads of defense investments so that way I can take on Dondozo, and also I made a Terra Grass for a better Dondozo matchup, and also it will be immune to Spore from Pokemon like Amoonguss. With this EV spread, Hypno can actually take one Wave Crash from Dondozo, even if Dondozo is at +2 and Hypno does not have any boosts. Also, I gave it enough speed to outspeed Pokemon like Garchomp on a Tailwind and a bit into special attack in order to be able to one-shot opposing Dondozo after the skills drop Psych Up went off. Next up, I needed a Pokemon that can be really strong into both Trick Room, into Fairy types, and also I needed a Pokemon that can win me games in the late game, for example with strong priority moves, because I need a Pokemon that can pick off weakened opponent Pokemon. So I decided to go with King Gambit, and I decided to go with this actually really innovative Life Orb King Gambit set, because with a Life Orb, King Gambit Sucker Punch will be super strong, and it will be able to one-shot so many Pokemon like Indeedee, Armarouge, Clefairy, so on and so forth, with its stab moves. And also I decided to give King Gambit Brick Break, because that will allow me to beat opposing King Gambit, and also strategies like Aurora Veil or Dual Screens, which actually won the last tournament, so that's gonna be really important. And also I decided to come up with a really creative EV spread for King Gambit as well, with a 172 speed, which is obviously really fast for King Gambit. This will allow me to outspeed Hisuian Arcanine when the Hisuian Arcanine got a speed drop, for example from Icy Wind. and I will be able to knock them out with Brick Break, and they will not be able to intimidate me because of my Defiant ability. Last but not least, we got the backup plan in case the setup doesn't work. And also we got another option against slower, bulkier teams in the form of Toxicity. I really wanted to use Toxicity because I actually got it to rank 1 in Series 1, and I wanted to see if I can make it work in this format as well. Toxicity is really strong with a Terra Normal Boom Burst, boosted by its Punk Rock ability, that will be able to one-shot so many Pokemon that is just insane damage. So I decided to go with a Choice Spec set, with Overdrive, Sludge Bomb and Switch as coverage moves, with max special attack and almost max HP, because that way we will be really bulky and able to take on Pokemon like Dragonite, like King Gambit, things like this. And also, we have a Terra Ghost, not the Terra Ghost, the Ghost form of Oricorio and Soundproof Como to be immune to Boom Burst, so that way we can spam it freely. And another thing what we can do is we can, for example, lead Oricorio Toxicity to set up Tailwind and then just start Boom Bursting the opponents if they do not have Tailwind themselves. Another thing we can do is we can lead Como Toxicity to immediately set up with Como, while Toxicity is going to dish out huge damage to the opponent, which hopefully will enable Como to sweep. Other leads that we can do with this team is obviously just Como Clefairy in order to just set up safely. Or, for example, Hypno, Como, so that way we can outplay opposing Trick Room teams and psych up ourselves. What we can also do, obviously, is lead something like Clefairy plus King Gambit, so that way we can just start weakening the opponent's team to set it up for Toxicity to sweep. Or we can go Como Oricorio, Baton Pass, Tailwind, playing with Soul, and do shenanigans like this. Yeah, I really hope this team will work in this format. This team definitely is not perfect. It is a really high risk, high reward team where you just go all in on the setup and you try to win as brutally as possible. Unfortunately, one thing I figured out in testing is if you make one mistake, you might just lose. So shout out to my homies for helping me prepare and allowing me to practice with this team against them. And also everyone else from the Discord server as well, for allowing me to practice with some older versions of this team. And yeah, overall I'm really excited because I think Hypno can definitely be really good. However, the issue with Hypno is, if you don't get off your stat boosts, Hypno is just completely useless, which just goes to show the high risk, high reward strategy of this team. This team definitely is a very big meta call as well, because if the opponents bring Pokemon like Oblivious Dondozo instead of Unaware Dondozo, I'm gonna be in huge trouble. And also, if they bring Terra Fire Como themselves, that's another thing that could just completely destroy my strategy, because I will not be having the advantageous matchup against them. Also, things like Pokemon that are faster than Oricorio are really difficult, because if I have something like Meowscarada, for example, it can just one-shot my Oricorio before I can set up Tailwind, which will be really difficult. However, one thing I realized while testing against Phantom is there are actually ways to play this team without going for the Tailwind or Trick Room speed control, because obviously if you get a +1 speed, you don't need Tailwind on top of that in order to outspeed the opponents. However, you can oftentimes even beat Tailwind teams, because oftentimes Tailwind setters in these formats are gonna be very passive. For example, Illumise or Volbeat definitely have really good support options that really disrupt this team, which is why I had Mental Orb in an earlier version of this Oricorio Sensei. However, Clefairy actually just sits on there, and if Clefairy is able to redirect the moves from both the Illumise, for example, and the Pokemon next to the Tailwind, it can actually just allow my Como to get some Omni Boost and sweep the game, even when I don't set up Tailwind myself. So that's one thing that is really cool. This team is definitely really difficult to use, like I said. You have to know when to click Heal Pulse, when to click Follow Me. You have to know when to protect which Pokemon. You have to know when to use Hypno, when not to use Hypno. You have to know when King Gambit with one-shot your whole team and when to use Toxicity and when not to. But overall, I'm really excited, so hope I do well. So guys, the tournament starts, and I'm super fucking excited. Only for my Wi-Fi to crash. Yep, that's it guys, thanks for watching. Not just kidding. I mean, yeah, unfortunately I did not get to play a lot in the actual tournament. I played like one game, and then, yeah, that was it. Really, really fucking unfortunate. However, luckily, I got a total of 3 games, actually 1 game and 2 best of 3s to show you guys. So we can see how well Hypno did in the tournament. Unfortunately, I only got like 2 wins, so I didn't make playoffs because, like I said, I did not have Wi-Fi. And you guys are gonna see in the replays right here, I had quite some connection issues. So my opponent right here, Segway, I cannot see his name for some reason, leads off with Sinister and Golden Go. And immediately I'm really scared because obviously he not only got a Trick Room team, but also he got quite some threats like the King Gambit, which is immune to my Hypno for example, and can immediately one-shot my Oricorio. And he also got the Earthruner Blood Moon and the Clefairy himself. Like Clefairy, Sinister is a combination I also considered quite a bit because it goes really well with Komo. Like this team overall is just like a bunch of good Pokemon, right? So immediately I just go for Dangerous Soul and Psych Up into my Komo because he's definitely gonna go for Trick Room, right? So I want to be able to reverse the Trick Room. However, he will be able to knock out my Hypno, right, if he goes for Trick Room. So he goes for Nasty Plot and Trick Room, as I go for my Clango Soul and Psych Up, which leaves me at plus 2.5 special attack on both of my Pokemon, and obviously I get the Omni Boost as well. So now the opponent actually goes for Strength Step into my Komo. I think they were thinking they were physical, but I don't know. As Golden Go goes for a huge Make It Rain and does so much damage into my Pokemon. Look at this. Oh my god. And now I reverse the Trick Room with my Hypno, which is the idea of Hypno, right? So now I gotta stop the opponent from setting a Trick Room again. So I just go for Flamethrower, knock out the Sinister, and Stored Power is able to knock out the opposing Komo. And now I am able to knock out the Clefairy, which is the last Pokemon from the opponent, also with Hypno. So I played 1 game in the tournament and I got 1 Hypno sweep. Let's go. Pretty fucking awesome, man. So now, this game is technically also a tournament game, but unfortunately I had to recreate it. So as you can see, it's Evil Yarak versus Yarak, face off, man. Because unfortunately I did not have the replay because, like I said, I disconnected like after like half the game was already over. Nothing I can do. So I go for Clanging Scales and Boom Burst with my Toxicity because I have to stop Trick Room at all costs, right? And this is my game plan against indeed the Armor Whoosh. I just attack it. And as you guys can see, oh, sorry, I got a hiccup. Excuse me. Works out quite well because the whole opposing team gets one shot. Now unfortunately I disconnected around this point right here and my opponent said, bro, you know what? Let's just do another game. Like he's really nice. It was my boy Tim. I actually helped him build the team. I practiced a lot versus him, which is really cool. So, and now game 2 is a bit more tricky because I predicted him to lead Lilligant Torkoal so that he can Sleep Powder me. Because my only way to get around Sleep Powder is obviously terrestrializing something into a grass type, but that will just get knocked out by Torkoal. So I knew if I wanted to win this game, I had to dodge Sleep Powder. So what I do is I led with Hypno and Komo, and right after I led this, I was like, no, I didn't start speaking Spanish, but I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I was like, my idea with this lead was I go for Clangerous Soul and Psych Up, and whoever gets not put to sleep is gonna be able to knock out Lilligant. But I forgot that I'm not faster than Lilligant for some reason, so I had to reconsider strongly and just went for Flamethrower into the Lilligant, and luckily Sleep Powder missed. But now I have a useless Hypno because I did not fucking think. So I just go for Stored Power or something into Torkoal and BAM! Eruption comes out. Big damage. Now here in the replay I set out Armor Whoosh, but I'm pretty sure, sorry, Cerulege, but no, Armor Rouge, sorry. But I'm pretty sure in the actual game he did not bring out Armor Rouge, and he didn't have another Trick Room setter. So I don't know, like how accurate this is, but yeah, what definitely happened is he definitely went for a Heat Wave right here, and like, I think he killed Hypno as well, yeah. And with Como barely alive, I'm able to bring in my Toxicity and clean up the game, just like in the last game as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can definitely see the team in putting in the finest of work, guys. Dude, my team, dude, this team is so fucking good. It's such a shame I didn't actually get to play in the actual tournament. But guys, this is not it. Those are my only like real tournament games, and only the first game was a game that I was able to play without disconnecting in the middle. However, after the tournament, I joined the stream of my man Zach, and as you can see, he got some in-game footage. So now what we're gonna do is a kind of like reaction video. I really hope the Wi-Fi doesn't crash. So, like, in the first battle against Zach, this is the best of 3 by the way. In the first battle against Zach, I was like, okay. So he's definitely gonna go for Trick Room, right? So I was like, damn, he got a Palafin, like he got a Yasuo Arcanine, like Blood Moon, Golden Go, he got some fucking threats, man. I actually don't remember what I did here. I'm pretty sure I just oh yeah, I remember. I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna go for a Trick Room, right? So I can easily stop the Trick Room one way. If I go Toxicity and Como and just go for Boom Burst and Cleansing Scales, right? Because he does not have a White Guard on his team, so I can just very easily knock out his Trick Room setter. That's the idea at least. So yeah. Dude, narrating in-game content is so different because everything takes so long, man. So yeah, I lead with Como and my Toxicity.
Come on, Tox. Okay.
Against Arcanine and Farigarath. So now, right here, I'm thinking to myself, okay, easy dub, GG Zach, shake hands. Easy, GG. Because I just knock out the Farigarath and like that. Wi-Fi just crashed. I just knock out the Farigarath and there's nothing it can do, and then Arcanine will just go for like a Rock Slide or something. Also not do much. However, I'll meet you guys when the Wi-Fi works again. Alright, so what I totally forgot about is bro has Snarl. Now why did I forget about Snarl? Well, my Como got soundproof, he's immune to it. But obviously not my Toxicity. Like he can just Snarl my Toxicity and I'm like at -1 for like the rest of the game, you know, unless I switch out obviously. So Zach makes a really good play here. Goes for his Snarl and for Trick Room. And I make another misplay actually, because I was going for Flamethrower into the Farigarath, because I thought for sure he would terrestrialize his Farigarath, right?
That's fine. We need to weaken the Toxicity.
Snarl comes out, Boom Burst. Obviously my Como is immune to Boom Burst because of the soundproof. And now look at this. Fuck man, Farigarath hangs on 3 HP, man. Oh, now this turn it's like worst case scenario for me. I did not want Trick Room to get up, now I have to adjust, right? Because obviously Trick Room being up is really bad. And also, like, I could have just went for Cleansing Scales, won the game immediately, but I didn't, so like, oh, yeah, I thought he would terrestrialize his Farigarath, man. So now big Psychic gonna come out into my Como. And like, my Tox, like, kinda just chilling here, you know, not really gonna do anything with its Boom Burst. And I really don't wanna, like, Boom Burst and allow Zach to get the free switch in into one of his Trick Room sweepers, right? I gotta either reverse the Trick Room or stall the Trick Room. So, obviously, I switch in the GOAT, Hypno. Who else? Hell yeah. And I also switch out Como because I do not wanna take a Psychic, I do not wanna take like a Rock Slide, I don't wanna take any unnecessary damage. Because I got my own Trick Room fucking Pokemon, man. Like my King Gambit is here to counter Trick Room, might as well bring it out, you know? So Rock Slide comes out and does no type of damage. And now it's a tricky situation because in the team sheet I see Farigarath got the got the Imprison, right? But I don't know if he will go for the Imprison, because what Imprison would do is it would stop me from reversing the Trick Room, right? Because if you guys don't know what Imprison does, it basically makes it so your opponent cannot use the Pokemon that you have in your moveset, right? So he got Imprison Trick Room for Vigoroth, which is usually used to stop people from using Trick Room. However, in his case, he got it to stop people from reversing his Trick Room. So now I'm like in a bit of a pickle, right? Because like he can just go for the Imprison, and like my King Gambit is like if my King Gambit kills with Vigoroth, and when I go for the Trick Room, I can get up my Trick Room, right? I can reverse my Trick Room. But like my King Gambit got like a ton of speed investment, right? So my King Gambit is actually my King Gambit is faster than it's faster than Hypno, right? So it's like a bit unfortunate. So I decided to just go for stored power to kill off with a Vigoroth, and I tried to kill the Arcanine with Big Break. However, Arcanine terrestrializes. Dude, there's so much going on this turn. So my idea was, okay, so I can kill with a Vigoroth and reverse Trick Room next turn, and I can kill the Arcanine as well. Because if I kill with a Vigoroth and then reverse the Trick Room to stop the Vigoroth from imprisoning, I lose my King Gambit. So I was just like, okay, let's just attack, kill the Arcanine, and then kill the Vigoroth, and then I'm probably in a winning position even in Trick Room. However, he terrestrializes his Arcanine, really good play, and almost kills my King Gambit. Luckily I got the expert German EVs. So now I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, bro, fuck man, dude, I could have won the game like both of these turns. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, very simple play. King Gambit is gonna die to Life Up Recall anyways. King Gambit is gonna be the slowest one in the field. That's a Sucker Punch. And obviously bro switches in with a Vigoroth, man. Such a good player.
There we go, so, let's go.
Yeah, my King Gambit dies, but luckily my Hypno still on the field. Hypno being chilling.
We got the throat
being chilling, man. Reverses the Trick Room right here. As the Earthlunar Blood Moon does Earthlunar Blood Moon things. I mean, what you expect when you face Earthlunar Blood Moon, you know? As I actually get a strong special attack raise, which is really cool, because of a mirror up. And I reverse the Trick Room. Dude, look at this man's face, man. Like, he played so well so far, and he's still in such a bad position, man. I love to see it, man. What can I say? I love to see it, man. Dude, alright. Who do I bring out? I bring out the Kommo-o, because here I'm actually gonna go for a really aggressive play. I'm just going to go for Clangerous Soul on Kommo-o, because what's Earthlunar gonna do, right? He's gonna kill one of my Pokemon, because he cannot go for Hyper Voice into my Kommo-o because I'm a Moon. Like, he can go for Blood Moon, and that's gonna do a ton, right? But what I decide to do is actually attack with my Hypno, because of my Hypno I can just kill with a Vigoroth, to make sure that Vigoroth does not go for another Trick Room, right? And also my Hypno is really fast, so I can get a hit off before that, right? And then if he kills my Kommo-o, like, that sucks, but as you guys already know, he didn't. So this play works out really well for me. Like, really greedy play. I could have just waited for Clanning Scales, like attacked Zack without Mono Drawback, but I decided to get another kill with Hypno, man. I think this is like 3 kills for Hypno so far, which is just insane. And Blood Moon comes out. Unfortunately, Hypno goes down. Goodbye. I was also thinking about going for Psych-Up into my Kommo-o, but then obviously Trick Room would have come out again. So now there are 3 Pokemon left for the opponent and 2 Pokemon left for me. However, I already baited their terror. He baited my terror, and also Trick Room was gone. So, luckily, I'm just gonna win right here, because I go out into my Toxicity, and I got my Kommo-o set up. I'm already terrestrialized, and all of the opponent's Pokemon are faster than all of my Pokemon. So I can just go for, you guessed it, Boom Burst and Clanning Scales. Get the big W right here. Get the big W. So Clanning Scales, unfortunately,
oh my goodness,
Earthlunar is actually EV to tank my Clanning Scales.
No.
Which is really cool.
No.
Really well done by Zack. But yeah. Not much he can do here. Not much to say as well. Really interesting game, honestly. Like, what I think is crazy is, like, I could have won, like, turn 1. Like, after, like, if I went for cleansing scales turn 1, I would have been in a winning position. And if I got turn 2 correctly with a switch out, and even if I, like, created a terror, for example, could have, or, sorry, turn 3, okay. I could have been, like, in a really winning
like
position.
17
well,
rock side.
I didn't, so, yeah.
Flinches. Never mind.
Luckily, I won either way. Because, yeah. Team is just this good, you know. And Wi-Fi is not working again. Alright, so for game 2, I thought to myself, okay, now game 1 went really well. So obviously he's gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. So I went with a different lead, and I actually went with Hypno and Komo. Now at first I was thinking, damn,
it doesn't have Terra Blast.
King Gambit would be so good into this. But I didn't bring it. Now, why? I don't know. But, I don't know. Either way, works out really well for me. Now unfortunately he does have the Among Us, which can both Spore and Clear Smoke, completely ruining
we have taunt.
My strategy of setting up and going for Psych up so that way I can sweep him, right? So, obviously what I do is I go for the incredibly obvious Terra Grass, which looks really cool, may I add. Sheesh. And obviously, oh, we have to wait for all of these animations. Zack actually makes a really good play, and he goes for a Terra with his Among Us turn 1. Which not only makes sure that he's not only weak to Flamethrower, but also not to my, what's he called? It's not expanding force. Stored power. As Palafin protects, which is a really good play because I have a free attack into the Palafin slot. So what I just do, is I, even though he has an Among Us on the field, I just go for the Clangorous Soul and the Psych up. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why did you do this? I don't know. I don't know. I would have loved to have some live commentary on this battle, but fortunately I don't. So, yeah. My Komo is now asleep, and my Hypno is unable to knock out the Among Us. Just gonna be able to go for a really simple Clear Smoke. And unfortunately, while I really wanted to hit the Palafin with restored power, Farigiraf is just a really obvious switch in.
Okay.
And I don't want to store power into the Farigiraf.
I'm in trouble.
Right? So, I just burn and turn off sleep with my Komo, and I go for the stored power into the Farigiraf. As Komo obviously stays asleep, which is to be expected. Just kidding, actually stored power via Among Us. My bad. And obviously it hangs on and goes for Clear Smoke. So my Hypno is just... yeah. RIP Hypno. RIP. so much for Hypno's usefulness. Now without the stat boost, Hypno is really fucking useless. Yeah. So my Wi-Fi stopped working again. Anyways, Zack switches in verse to Luna. As right here I can actually wake up, but I don't with my Komo, which is really unfortunate.
Okay.
So, I just go for another Psycho. Because hey, why not? You know, like why wouldn't I? I mean, you know, as he goes for the Trick Room, so now, with my Hypno being at +2 in special defense, +1 in special defense, I can easily take on both Ursaluna as well as the Farigiraf, and stored power is a huge threat again because I'm a +2 special attack. So what Zack does is he Blood Moons my Hypno, which tanks it like a champ, and he also Psychics my Komo, which now means I get to reverse the Trick Room, and unfortunately Komo stays asleep. Unfortunate. However, now my Komo is guaranteed to wake up. Zack already used his Terror, and I can just go with my Hypno, then just fucking go for game, you know? Like, I can just fucking, like, attack, you know? Like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? We're gonna see. So yeah, like I said, Komo is guaranteed to wake up. Clanging Scales come out. BAM! Unfortunately, Earth Luna survives because that's what we already found out game 1. And Hypno beats the imprisoned Trick Room for Vigoroth once again. How? I don't know, just Hypno stuff. Unfortunately, Hyper Voice will now be able to knock out my Hypno, just kidding. Evil Hypno, man. Eh. People don't call me evil for no reason, you know? And now I get actually another special
DLC,
attack boost from the Mirror Orb,
Well, no.
which is so cool. Because now I will be
That's
able
true.
to one-shot the opposing Palafin with my stored power. Which is just creme de la creme, man. Hypno, my man. Sheesh. Anyways, what does Zack do here? I mean, at this point it's impossible for him to win. He can definitely Jet Punch, knock out my Como, and then knock out my Hypno as well. But actually he can't, as we're gonna see later. So he goes for my Protect with his Palafin. So I'm gonna be able to one-shot the opposing Earthsuna Blood Moon, which is really cool, because my last Pokemon is actually the Toxicity, which is going to be able to one-shot both of the opposing Pokemon. And because of my expert EVs and my huge HP investment on the Toxicity, Palafin Jet Punch will not be able to knock me out. So now at this point all you can do is pray for like crits or like RNGs or my Wi-Fi to crash, which is probably a really good win condition. So yeah. Now Amogus is just chilling here, kind of sad, honestly, doing nothing really. And so yeah, he's gonna go for Jet Punch, knock out my Como. Goodbye Como. Goodbye. And now Hypno gonna come out. Stored power. BAM! And that's a dead Palafin. Another kill for Hypno. Dude, that's fucking insane, man. Now Pollenpuff is unfortunately able to knock me out.
Okay.
Unfortunate, man.
Is there one more left or is there...
Hypno dies in vain, man. Hypno absolutely carried this tournament, or at least the games where I was able to play with my shitty ass Wi-Fi. Dude, can we just talk about Hypno? Like in game 1, Hypno swept. Game 2 was a best of 3. Hypno really didn't do anything, to be fair. But it was a nice,
There's 2.
like, Hypno like
danger.
forced the opponent to play in a certain way, right? Because if he doesn't respect Hypno, I just sweep with Hypno. So Hypno in a sense did something, but I mean, not gonna give Hypno too much credit, right? Because I don't need to give it too much credit, man. In the next best of 3 against Zack,
Dang.
you got
What's it?
the Hypno reversing Trick Room twice, and then the Hypno sweep. Guys, that isn't epic as fuck. Also, my Wi-Fi just went out once again. Well, luckily I was able to capture the tournament experience in this video as well. Honestly, overall, really fun. It's a shame I wasn't able to play more games, because if you look at Zack's video, with the results for the tournament, Zack actually got 4th, and seeing that I completely destroyed the 4th like place, I definitely think I would have been able to do better but not top cutting at all if I was able to play more games. However, I want to thank everyone that joined, and especially Zack for organizing and playing with me as well. Really cool. Zack really made this video possible. Shout out to you. Now guys, all you have to do is check out his channel, like, subscribe, and join the next tournament if you want to. If not, fuck off. Just kidding. Peace.